His entire life, Nick McConnell has been in search of an NBA team. He tried with the Knicks because of his name, but then the Knicks turned into the Knicks, and now he is opening himself up into fan free agency, and he has asked his agent to get 6 of the top NBA teams to prepare a pitch for him, and he will decide which team he shall remain a fan of for life in The Decision. Hey, howdy! I'm the representative from the Chicago Bulls, and I've heard you're interested in our team over here. Well,
I was till I heard this accent.
Not everybody sounds like this, but when you're in the Upper Midwest, at least you're not a Bucks fan. So, have you always hated LeBron James, but don't have a reason why? Has the mythical ethos of Michael Jordan always fascinated you? Well, then the Bulls are the perfect team for you. Just know that Michael Jordan is the greatest player of all time. Nothing can ever top him. And LeBron would not have won any rings if Derrick Rose was completely healthy. Right now, if you look at the standings, it's not a good time to be a Bulls fan. Yet. The teams at the top right now, just wait until the players hate each other and leave or get old and retire. We've already been through that multiple times. So we are right now in the upswing of the rebuild cycle. No other team can say that on your list but Chicago. And nothing is better than Chicago when the Bulls are winning. It's a magic. I can't explain it. And with so many players being from Chicago, we're always a threat in free agency. So if you want to get on a team now where nobody will call you a bandwagoner when we're winning in a couple years, join the Bulls, baby. We're unbelievable.
I feel obligated to ask you questions.
Yes.
But this is very much a first date that is not working out.
Why?
Big part of it's the accent. You're
What?
reminding me I don't like Chicago accents.
How is this Chicago? It's Midwest.
Where do you see yourselves in 5 years?
In 5 years, we'll have Zach LaVine as a perennial all-star, and then the Finnish sensation Lauri Markkanen, the marksman, as his number 1 co-running mate, and Kobe White as the point god of the future. That's a big 3 of stars under 25 that no other team really has right now in the Eastern Conference. Just 3 different positions, all completely filled. So if you just fill in the gaps, and we get a couple more of those lottery picks coming in, we won't even need free agency besides running up the score on what we've already got. This team could be a playoff team this year. It could be, but it might not be. And that's the fun of this season and the next couple of seasons before we get really good again.
The fun of this season and the next few is that we might not be good.
But we're improving each year, you see.
Alright, I think that's definitely all we need from your organization. Hi.
Hello, I'm the representative of the Los Angeles Lakers. Bro. I got 2 words for you, baby. Show time. If you want a team that the NBA as a whole is better when we're better, it's the LA Lakers, baby. You know how the other premier franchises of the sports world, the Man U's, the Yankees of the world, they're all stuck up and they all play the game the right way. We don't do that here in LA. We will run up the score on you. We will throw alley-oops all day long against the other team. This team, it's actually fun. Not like those other teams. And we make people so mad. If you want to live rent-free in your enemies' heads, even when you're not winning, you gotta join LA. I mean, there's a reason LeBron wanted to come here, even when we had nothing. It's that we can get anybody we want in the snap of our fingers. Anthony Davis, come along. Rondo, come along. Our bench is total crap, but LeBron can trade those guys at any moment, and we're still number 1 in the West. So, if you want rings as quick as possible, and if you want to join the same legendary halls that Magic Johnson, Wilt Chamberlain, Kobe Bryant have all walked through, you gotta win, and you gotta win as a Laker, baby.
So let me get this straight.
Yeah.
You came to a Red Sox fan and a Liverpool fan
Yeah.
and decided to compare yourselves to the Yankees and Man United, thinking
But
that
the
might go
fun
over
version.
well.
The fun version. Like, you know, everything you hate about them and everything you're secretly jealous of about them. Take everything you hate and flip it into the things that you like and mash that with the things that you're jealous of, and you've got the Lakers.
I gotta tell you, man, I love California, and I don't yet have a California team.
Yeah.
I love that
This
glitz. I
is
love
the
that
LA.
glam. That's what I love about the
Yeah.
NBA. And yet I can tell you right now, I'm not feeling the fit between myself and this organization.
Enjoy watching us in the finals, baby. Morning! Top of the morning to you, laddie.
This is the accent.
Yes, it is. I am the representative of the Boston Celtics. Ask you one question. Do you like winning?
Yup.
Well, then welcome aboard to the Boston Celtics team. Since Larry Bird era to now, we've only missed the playoffs 4 times. 4 times! I was a wee lad the last time we missed the playoffs, okay? We made the Eastern Conference Finals 3 years ago with a bunch of guys we didn't even like. This team just has it in the blood to win. Every single year we field a competitive team. And right now, the identity of the team is the same as it's always been back in the Larry Bird days. We'll shoot a 3 on one end, and then we'll punch you in the face on the other. You like the Boston Red Sox, and they win a lot. There's a natural symbiotic relationship between the two. You can see them win in the fall, and you can switch the TV over to the Celtics game and see us win in the fall. And in the winter, and in the summer too. And you mentioned you hate the Lakers. We hate the Lakers. We hate them a lot here in Boston, okay? So, what do you think?
I think that's the worst Irish accent I've ever heard in my life.
Well, welcome to Boston.
Yeah, I mean, I love the city of Boston. It seems like a really natural fit. I do stumble over the idea of sharing another franchise with Patriots fans. But I love the Bruins, and I love my Red Sox.
3 out of 4 ain't bad, lassie.
And I will say, the New England Patriots do not have Boston in the name, and play in Foxborough, which is how I've always rejected
That's not
them.
Boston. This is in the heart of Boston. Is the Garden, okay?
As opposed to the other garden.
Yeah, this is
So-
the true Garden, the true basketball mecca. Do not listen to Mr. New York, okay?
Yeah, he's in next. Actually, not quite. Where do you see the team in 5 years?
5 years old. We always build for the future. Like, we'll be in the playoffs in 5 years because we're always in the playoffs. Always. Always. When Isaiah Thomas left, we replaced him with Kyrie Irving. When Kyrie Irving left, we replaced him with Kemba Walker. When Kemba Walker leaves, we're going to replace him with the next great point guard. And when he leaves, we replace him and boom and boom. We're like Russian nesting dolls, okay?
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, yeah, I appreciate it, and you're definitely under serious consideration. So thank
They're
you very much.
magically delicious. Hello.
Hi.
I'm your agent, you know me.
Right.
And since I've been a Miami Heat fan for a solid 10 years now,
Mm-hmm.
can't believe it's been 10 years since the decision. Anyways,
Yeah, no kidding. Like, let's just take a moment to appreciate the fact that the thing we're memorializing is like 10 years
Years.
ago.
Yes.
That's bananas.
so
We're old.
yes. So even though LeBron isn't here anymore,
Right.
Dwayne Wade's not here anymore, Chris Bosh isn't here,
So all the things that made the Heat.
originally intriguing are gone, but also still there. On any given night, the Heat can win a game, and that's due to Heat culture. Believe me, that's been a real thing since the years of LeBron and since the years of Dwayne Wade before that, and every year since after they've left, that has persisted in the Heat DNA. The guys who are out on the floor every night for the Miami Heat, you'll see a mix of undrafted guys, second-round picks, and, a couple of mid-first rounders. And they compete every night because of that culture. Like, take perennial bench warmer and widely considered bust, Dion Waiters.
God bless.
He went to the Heat in 2017, and then he just had this randomly magical clutch run. And the Heat kept on feeding him the ball and just creating that positive feedback loop that caused him to go on a crazy 2-week winning streak. Even though he's not playing now, any one of these guys on the roster can be a Dion Waiters, can be an Okara White, a James Johnson, a Kendrick Nunn, a Tyler Herro. Any given night, you don't know who the number one scorer is going to be. When Jimmy Butler got here, he had already groomed 2 locker rooms. One in the Timberwolves, one with the Sixers, and depending on who you ask, one with the Bulls. But here, he actually bought into the culture and becomes a part of the team. He's not going to be the number one guy every night, and he's okay with that because of that Heat culture. And Miami, just as a city, just loves this team so much. And another bonus about being in Miami is that if you get a team, if you're playing on a Saturday against a team that got there on a Thursday, they were likely partying too hard the couple nights before, and you'll get that home win, okay?
That's fair. That's an interesting home court advantage.
That is the most interesting home court advantage, and if you check the stats, it works.
It is also a legitimate home court advantage as a fan who might want to one day visit that home court.
Yes.
You know, I have to tell you, I really wasn't planning on considering the Heat before now, but that was a damn good pitch.
Yes.
That was really impressive, and I've got a lot to think about.
Well, boy howdy, I'm from Houston, Texas, and I'm here to pitch you about my here Rocket Squadron. So,
Okay, yeah, I'm actually serious about this team, so I need to listen.
well, do you like having more than 2 good players at a time?
That's negotiable for sure.
Thank God. So, let me tell you about my here Houston Rockets. We typically have about 2 good players at a time,
Okay.
as you said. And when we lose, it's never really our fault. It's always the officials. Remember that.
I appreciate this. This
Always
is my
the
stance
officials.
on almost all of my teams.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So you'll fit right in here if you take that stance.
Great, good.
And the thing you need to know about the Rockets right now, James Harden plays the most beautiful brand of basketball imaginable. There's no shame in free throws, dang it. Spits. So, anyone who says he's ruining the game or isn't fun to watch is wrong and should die.
Well, boy, howdy.
Boy, howdy indeed, sir. Do you also like just throwing crap at a wall to see if it sticks?
Absolutely.
That's the Rockets front office for you.
I love this team already. This is beautiful.
Last year, we had Chris Paul as our point guard, one of the most statistically impressive point guards,
Right.
passing-wise, of all time. We traded him for perennial ball hog Russell Westbrook, because why not? We weren't winning with that Paul guy. And against all odds, we might have found a way that those 2 guys, Harden and Westbrook, can coincide together. It's only happened for about a week now. This is a very recent development.
All right. Well, I'm glad we're doing this now for your sake.
Yes. Just do not ask what happens in the playoffs when James Harden. Just don't ask about him in the playoffs. Please don't. Please don't. Just focus on these 40-point triple-doubles he's pointing up in mid-January.
Well, the numbers are impressive.
They're
man.
insane, man. He's a threat to go for 50 every night. He's averaging like 38, in these past month alone. Don't ask about our bench, okay? Don't ask about the bench. Don't ask about the rebounding or the defense situation. We're gonna outscore that team. By golly!
I gotta tell you,
Yeah.
I appreciate a team that comes in and simply tells me not to think about 90% of their basketball operation.
And as long as you've got a general manager who would rather get involved in Twitter fights over foreign authoritarian governments than building a competent bench, then you'll love Houston, baby.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. We'll consider you seriously.
Yeah!
Yeah! Hey.
Good morning to you.
How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm from New York. And in New York, we got the Knicks as our basketball team. You were once a fan, so I think what's most important about the Knicks to you is that you get it. You get the appeal of the Mecca of Madison Square Garden. You get why Stephen A. Smith is on First Take every morning with Fat Joe and whichever Knicks celebrity he drags on, just screaming about the team and how incompetent they are. You get why we're in the spotlight even when we suck. You get why we're in the spotlight because we suck, and you get how much we know all of this. Let me tell you something about this Knicks fan base. You mentioned it before, it's almost like a collective suffering in a way of what we've been going through. Like, times ain't good right now, but we're in it together. We'll still sell out the Garden to watch Julius Randle and Aaron Aflalo play. You know, we'll still do that because we care about our Knicks, man. We care about this team. We don't care that the owner doesn't give two F's about us and only cares about making profits and his own ego. Like, we want him out more than anything in the world, but at the end of the day, we know it is what it is, and we know who we are. You know why Cleveland Browns have one of the most loyal fan bases in the NFL? This is why. This is like that. And any bit of success we can nab is magical in its front page news, baby. I know it hasn't looked like it lately, but the stars will come. You think Zion's going to be happy in New Orleans forever? You think John Morant's going to be happy in Memphis? All these top young players are going to flock to New York. You just know it, baby. You just know it, baby. We're the Mecca.
I need you to give a reason why those young players would still see the glitz of the Knicks. Because I see it, and you see it. But why does Zion see it?
Because there were reports coming out that he wanted to come here before the draft lottery even happened, okay? The kids get it. Our luck's gonna turn around eventually. You just know it. We can't suck forever. I know it feels like that, but we can't. And you know this town, you know this state. It's magic, baby. When the Knicks turn it around, you know you do never want to be anywhere else but being along with that ride. You know, why would you want to give up all these years of failure before it gets better? Because it'll have to happen eventually. You weren't really that into it in the Carmelo years. Like, no, not as into it as...
More than now.
Yeah, more than now, but not as into it as you're gonna be when we really turn it around this time. When we win more than one playoff series. When that happens, you don't want to be anywhere else. I get that sitting 14 out of 15 ain't looking so good now. But if you get the draft picks, if we do things the right way, because we've been doing them the wrong way for so many times, you'd think we would have figured it out by now. When that happens, that's when the Knicks become the team that you want to root for.
When are we back? Reasonably. How long does this rebuild take? Because I'm going to have to suffer 10 years that I already have, plus whatever this rebuild is.
Depending on how confident you are in our free agency, Giannis Antetokounmpo becomes available 2021.
But why would he want to come here?
Cause they get it. I was telling you, these people get it.
But Kevin Durant just went to the Nets, right? Because he said that they were the team in New York that people would go to. And they only cover one borough, coach.
And Kevin Durant's a dope.
This is probably not accurate.
Look at him.
I don't care if the man's a dope. The man can play ball. I'd cheer for that dope if he was wearing blue and orange, coach.
And when the players see him fail on the Nets, like he's going to do, they will see that no one cares. No one cares about the Nets.
That's true.
I think I've said my speech.
I think we have. It's time to go think. I appreciate it.